Hi y'all, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. At this point we're gonna be filming all night because I have a ton of content to push out to get done for you guys, and I don't really feel like getting dressed up and doing my makeup tomorrow or maybe even the day after, so I don't know when I'm gonna get the next chance to film. So we are gonna pop these videos out. Anyways, I promised a very special follower on TikTok, and I know a lot of you guys were curious about this story or have asked me about this story at some point. Guys, go ahead and follow me on TikTok. I post lots of very great videos there. I love TikToking, so go to the link in the description. You will find all the links to my social media. Follow me. But yeah, thank you for coming back to my channel, Ashley's World. Today's video is a crazy story time, y'all. My first story time on this channel, so y'all got ready. Okay, so it's the story of how I traveled to California, tried to, what's the word? Sneak into Coachella, and also tried to break into what I thought was Leonardo Dicaprio's mansion. You guys, I'm gonna try and be as detailed as I can because this is a very long story, and I hope you guys stay to the very end because not one moment of the story is dull. But for you guys to really understand this story, I have to start by telling you guys, when I was age 19 to about 25, I had a massively toxic, unhealthy crush on Leonardo DiCaprio, which absolutely destroyed my life from the inside out. And this is how it all started. When I was a kid, I had a real big crush on celebrities like Lil Wayne and 50 Cent. There was one point where I was listening to Candy Shop and tears were coming out of my eyes because I think I have a form of synesthesia, because I get really emotional sometimes when I hear music that has a lot of layers or a lot of different like melodies on top of a beat, on top of a like, I don't know what the other word, rhythm, or like, you know, lots of layers to the music. Whenever I hear a beat that sounds like it was engineered really well, sometimes the song like really gets me in my feelings. So I think I have some sort of form of synesthesia. But I was listening to Candy Shop and I was crying at one point because I had such a huge crush on 50 Cent growing up. So I was having a conversation with someone one day, and I was like, who do you think is the hottest man alive? And they were like, who do you think is the hottest man alive? And I was like, 50 Cent. You know, he's strong, he's muscular, he's a survivor, he's got great skin, he's got a beautiful face, you know, he makes great music. Full package for me at that time. I'm like, so who do you think is the most attractive man alive? And they were like, Leonardo DiCaprio. And I was like, oh, wait a minute here. Like, 50 Cent is hot, but he's hot because I like his personality mostly and his music. And he's physically attractive, don't get me wrong, he's very physically attractive. But when they said that, I was like, nah, because that's the absolute truth. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio is, what's the word? Like, objectively attractive, like universally attractive. Like, I feel like there's not one woman on this planet who could look at him and be like, he's physically ugly. Like, his personality is not it. He's like older, out of shape or whatever, but his face card don't decline, period. You know, like, he has a gorgeous face, a very handsome face, and it could be plastic surgery that he has, because at some point he had to get work done on his face due to an injury. But yeah, it could just be a matter of Botox and fillers in his jaw or whatever. But he has a very beautiful face and really gorgeous eyes. So I'm like, yeah, this man is like objectively attractive. Like, if there's one man that is really the most attractive man on earth, it's him. And you guys, let me know if I'm tripping, or let me know if you guys agree with this hot take. Like, is he really that physically attractive, or am I blind? Anyways, so that was the whole situation. And it's not like I immediately developed a crush on him in my childhood, but I always remembered that moment, because I was like, yeah, like, that's true. Like, and guys, when I say Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm not talking about adolescent androgynous, like teen, like young boy looking Leonardo DiCaprio, because for me that was not a look. Like, I did not find him attractive at that point. Like, ick, no. Like, he was all right looking, but you know, the blonde, skinny, kind of very youthful looking boy that he was, from the man with dark hair that he turned into, is like a complete 360 for me, and I just find him more attractive as an adult. But that's just me. So that's how I ended up in that situation. So it wasn't until I was like 18 or 19 years old where I was kind of like getting into Instagram, and I found his social media and I started creeping him online. And from there I started developing a very unhealthy crush on him. Like, I would be constantly reading articles about his personal information, like always checking like what he was doing at any moment, finding out what parties he was going to, where he, you know, ate out, like went to restaurants and all that. Like, I was constantly Googling details of his everyday life just to keep up with what he was doing every day. And what you find on Google, the reports of he went to this bar, he did this, he's hanging out with this girl, like, that's only a small picture of the entire truth. Like, it's not a full picture of what is actually going on in his life, what his personality is actually like, what his relationships are actually like, you know, like, all of that is just a very, very limited view of the truth. But I was very absorbed in those details. Anyways, just by stalking him online, I decided, like, at some point I have to meet this guy. I definitely have to meet this guy. And you know, I found out online that he goes to Coachella every single year and he really likes live music. And I don't know, like, this was not the first time I tried to find him out in the streets too. Like, I had gone to New York because he goes to New York a lot. I just went to a random hotel in New York, not even considering that this random hotel probably has nothing to do with him and there's no chance that he would be anywhere near there. But I just went to New York thinking I would run into him. And that's another story for another time if you guys want to hear it. But I can tell you guys that story too, but it's not as crazy as this story. So anyways, what year was this anyways? Okay, guys, my birthday is in April, and it usually falls around the same time as Coachella and Easter. So I have always been very fascinated with Hollywood culture, Los Angeles, LA, just that lifestyle, living in a sunny climate and being able to see celebrities. And you know, I watched so many movies that took place in LA, so I was really in love with the idea of LA. Like, I really wanted to move there at some point in my life, become a Californian, live the California life, like be a whole ass California girl. That was my dream. And at some point I was like, I'm going to accomplish this dream. So basically, I was working at this place in downtown Toronto. I had a pretty decent job, but I decided that for my birthday, I only got 1 day off per week because I was kind of working like part-time. I guess it was considered part-time, but I was getting full-time hours, but I just got 1 day off per week. And so I decided that for my birthday, I was gonna buy myself a plane ticket and finally visit the place I had dreamed of my entire life and go to Los Angeles, California. So I was working, so I had a little bit of money to play with, but not much at all. So basically, I was at work on the computer searching for flights, and I finally found a flight for that weekend, and I believe it was on WestJet that I got that flight. Oh no, it wasn't WestJet. Was it WestJet? I think it was American Airlines. I took one American Airlines flight and I took one WestJet flight. And I took another flight, but I can't remember exactly what plane company I had gotten on, but that's another detail. So anyways, I booked this flight. It's costing me maybe $200, maybe $350 round trip. I can afford that. So I'm like, I'll go to California for 4 days. I'll go for Friday. I'll leave on Friday after work. I'll go home. I'll get ready. And then I'll just go on to Pearson International Airport and I'll take my flight. And I live very close to the airport at that point. So I'd just take my flight to California. I'd stay there for 3 days. I'd go to Coachella. I could not afford a ticket. I did not have a ticket, but I wanted to go to Coachella. That was my dream. Go and get into Coachella. And I figured I get plenty of attention here in Toronto in Canada. I may not be the prettiest girl. I may not always have my shit together, but I can pull a 1-2 guy here and there. Sometimes I get a little bit of luck when I have my looks together. Sometimes I experience pretty privilege. So I'm pretty privilege is gonna come through for me and I'm gonna be able to get into Coachella based on looks alone. That was my plan. So I packed my little bag. I packed a bunch of clothes, all the clothes that I love to wear, mostly summer clothes, bodysuits, crop tops, stuff like that. I packed some jeans too. I packed a light jacket, stuff like that. I mostly packed bodysuits, to be honest. I was really expecting to go there and everyone to look very sexy, so I kind of wanted to fit in. So anyways, I booked my hotel. I booked my hotel at the Hilton Palm Springs, because I had assumed that Palm Springs location would be close to Coachella. I don't know if it was Palm Springs, but it was somewhere in the desert area. It was not I can't even remember where it was, but I think it was somewhere closer by Coachella. So I booked my hotel, the Hilton, and what else did I have to book? So I took all the money I had saved up in my account, and then I went to Cash Money, and I borrowed another $1,000 from basically a loan shark company that I would have to pay back in a couple of weeks. So that's all I had for the trip. I didn't have a lot of money, and I had to book my hotel, but it was only for 3-4 days. So I figured, yeah, this is doable. I'll come back on Monday. I'll be back at work on Tuesday. It'll be like I never left. So I was quite excited for this trip, and I wanted to go for a certain look for the trip. So this is the first mistake I made. Usually I stand out more and I get a lot more attention and I have a lot more luck with men, with women, etc. when I'm wearing colored hair, like blonde, orange, pink, green, blue, yellow, whatever. When I wear brighter hair, it makes me stand out more, and I guess more people find me beautiful with like blonder hair or those kind of colors, lighter hair colors. So knowing this, I was kind of in the mood to try something different. So I wore a short black bob wig, and I tend to look a little bit more what most men would be attracted to with longer hair. So that's the mistake I made. I